Pokemon's 30th anniversary is right around the corner, and with the hype for the hobby at an all-time high, they've got a rare shot to do something bold, not just a celebration, but a revolution. The Scarlet and Violet era has already delivered wave after wave of nostalgia-fueled bangers, with sets like 151, Destined Rivals, Black Bolt, and White Flare giving us a blast from the past. So when it comes to the 30th anniversary, expectations are sky high. But here's the thing, Pokemon anniversary sets have been force-feeding us a standard formula for years. And I'm not just talking about the names. First, you copy and paste a bunch of nostalgic favorites, turning them into reverse holos or slapping a stamp on them. Then you overload the set with Pikachus, make sure at least one's flying. And finally, don't forget the reprinted base set Charizard. And there you have it, we've seen it, we've bought it. Before the 30th, it's time for something that pushes the TCG forward while paying homage to the past. From reimagined vintage legends to the wildest full art you've ever seen, these are the 3 things Pokemon needs to do to make the 30th anniversary set unforgettable. Black Bolt and White Flare introduced a brand new rarity, Black and White Rare, and let's just say it's been monochrome madness ever since. These ultra-textured cards replaced the golden hyper rare slot that really disinterested us during the Scarlet and Violet era and gave new life to the hardest cards to chase in the set. So for the 30th anniversary, let's give the people what they want, a full-blown monochrome subset of some of the hobby's most iconic Pokemon of all time. These monochrome cards would represent the box art Pokemon from every generation of the mainline video game series. From Gen 9's Ultraviolet Dragon Miraidon to Gen 7's Master Destruction Yveltal. Pokemon could create anywhere between 9 and 24 monochromes if you count definitive box arts like Platinum or Emerald. Personally, I don't want to see them keep this subset on the smaller side and go 1 monochrome per generation. It's also important that they maintain difficult pull rates for these cards. I've heard it should take somewhere between 1 in 500 all the way up to 1 in 1800 packs on average to pull the monochromes from Black Bolt and White Flare. While that might sound brutal, I think they should keep it the same for these. Difficult pull rates create scarcity, and scarcity creates demand. I mean, ultra low odds for the serialized Chocobos basically brought Magic the Gathering back from the dead. And I'm not suggesting Pokemon goes the serialized card route, because it feels like that's a break glass in case of a crash, path of no return scenario. I'd like to see them maintain the difficulty they've already established while giving the people more of what they want. Just think of how epic a Master Monochrome subset would actually look. And don't even get me started on my secret hope of seeing double Chrome cards at some point. Sword and Shield gave us alt arts, and Scarlet and Violet put crowns on their head with secret illustration rares. Pokemon's been scaling back to CGI cards and doubling down on our love for full illustrations that make the Pokemon world come to life. If only they had alt arts and secret illustration rares back in the 90s and 2000s. Take this era-defining Lugia card that came from Neo Genesis. It's an absolutely stunning card, but early generation holographic cards lacked imagery and made it so that you had to use your imagination to create the story behind the card. Well, 30 years later, I think it's time to finish the story, not by throwing a 30th anniversary stamp on it, but by turning these generational cards into secret illustration rares. And something like this that gives just a little more context to the original, but still leaves the story up to interpretation would be cool. But I really want to see them lean into illustrated storytelling like this. This one takes inspiration from Pokemon 2000's The Movie, with Lugia trying to quell the legendary bird trio from creating chaos. Or maybe they could display a battle between the Guardians of the Sea and Sky. Okay, that's a sore subject right now. Okay, how about a base set Charizard? It's been, what, 4 years since we got our last reprint? You know they're gonna put one of these in the anniversary set. What would you rather see? Another one of these? Or the original cast over a secret illustration area that finally shows us after all these years who was taking the brunt of Charizard's flames? Throw a little SIR texture on there and you've got yourself a Charizard card for the ages. Destined Rivals has been crushing it recently, so let's do Original Rocket's Mewtwo from 2000's Gym Challenge. And now they can show us Giovanni and Thick King hunting for Mewtwo deep in Cerulean Cave. Thickums. And I really couldn't resist. It's the original Moonbryon from 2001's Neo Discovery. Dude's just chillin' Simba style looking at his reflection under the night sky. But if Pokemon wanted to, they could get real meta and start connecting cards across generations with these SIRs. So let's throw in some vintage evolutions and some modern evolutions, yeah. I think something like this could just about wreck the economy. Perfect. I mean, all the evolutions on one card for the first time, they've got to go this route. If you want to see more historic cards like Goldstar Kyogre or E-Reader Houndoom turn into SIRs, make sure to subscribe and check out my YouTube shorts. And finally, the third thing I want to see Pokemon do for the 30th anniversary set is something they really haven't done since the Sword and Shield era. Since its release during the Chilling Reign expansion set, there's been a new king of sealed products, the Pokémon Center Elite Trainer Box. With additional packs, Pokémon Center exclusive stamp promo, and pretty limited product runs, the market can't get enough of this product. Millions of people line up in the queue, dodging Error 17s left and right, just for a shot at pre-ordering this exclusive product. During the Scarlet and Violet era, Pokémon Center ETB design is primarily differentiated from regular ETBs by a simple stamp on the exterior of the box. Yeah, the arts are slightly different, but check this out. If I hide the stamp at the bottom of the ETB, I bet you have a hard time telling me which one's the Pokémon Center exclusive. Okay, how about
another one?
I mean, it's tough, right? Back in the glory days of the Sword and Shield era, they used to have a totally unique box art and color scheme for the Pokémon Center ETBs, which in my opinion made them way more displayable. So for the 30th anniversary, I want to see them return to exclusive, differentiated artwork on the Pokémon Center ETBs. So 30 years. Do you think they'd put the 30th Pokemon on there? Psych, it's Nidorina.
That's definitely not happening. What about the 30th Gym Leader, Byron, from Diamond and Pearl?
Dude's closer was a Skarmory. Cool Pokemon, but not a chance.
The 30th numbered Wizard of the Coast Black Star promo is Togepi. That's a no.
It's more likely than not going to be Pikachu. If they go Pikachu, they should use a vintage Pikachu. So how about 2000's Neo Genesis Pikachu? Yeah, that's not bad, but if they were to ask me what I wanted to see, it's a callback to the first ETB ever released, Lugia, which debuted with Plasma Storm in 2013. I think it would pair really nicely with our silver monochrome Lugia and our modernized SIR, and would be an awesome celebration of one of Pokemon's longest standing products. So these are the 3 things I want to see from the 30th anniversary. Let me know in the comments what you want to see from this milestone set. See you legends in the next one.